Hi everybody, I'm J-Man. Today we're playing Gran Turismo, the real driving simulator. Cause racing, why not? Okay. With that out of the way, now that you know what we're playing, do you know what we're reading? We're reading Psalm 23, verse 3. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Psalm 23 is one of those psalms that, at least through my church, and seems to be a common theme for other people I talk about, or talk to, not about, I mean maybe about, I don't know. It seems to be a common theme for people I talk to, is that Psalm 23 is one of the first chapters they actually learn. It's a fairly short chapter. It's a psalm called "The Lord is My Shepherd," where David is kind of reflecting on being a shepherd himself and how his relationship with God is reflect how he sees his relationship with God in the Psalms. Not the Psalms, in shepherding. It's a psalm he wrote while shepherding to understand his relationship with God and how God protects him and how God as a shepherd behaves because of how David behaves as a shepherd. To me, it's a very interesting psalm, and it really clearly defines what exactly the relationship with us and God is. Now, does that mean that it gets everything right? No, not exactly. But I like this verse, one, because I've had to study it a long time, and two, because it helps to remind me of who God is and how God works and what God does for me. He restores my soul. That part is the part that most impacts me right now, because I had a moment this morning where I just was not feeling this channel. I try to be honest about things, and I'm just trying to decide. I was trying to decide earlier today if I'm wasting my time or not, and I don't know that I actually came to a conclusion, but my wife did help me to sort a few things out, and I've got more things that over time I will hopefully try to sort out better. But I'm working on it. I'm working on believing in this channel, and I should believe in this channel a lot better than I feel like I do right now. But I also feel like anything in life, there's ups and downs, and we need our souls restored from time to time. Apparently I can't talk. But it also says he leads me down paths of righteousness, which means that I'm not in control of the paths when I'm on righteous paths. If I am being led by God onto the righteous paths, if I'm allowing God to lead me, then the paths that I will be on are righteous paths. But if I'm not allowing God to lead me, if I'm leading myself, if I'm wandering off, as sheep do, then that prevents me from being led on paths of righteousness. Basically, right paths. Righteousness in and of itself, though, as a specific word, has a severe meaning to it. I mean, you've heard self-righteous before, if somebody is self-righteous, but righteousness is good and pure, and mostly good and pure. That's the way to think about it. So he leads me on paths that are good and pure, on right paths, on straight and correct paths, on the paths that I want to be on. Ooh. But it's not for me. his name's sake. I don't get to be on these paths of righteousness, bumping into everybody, because I want to be on these paths of righteousness. If it was up to me, I would be on my own path of destruction, a non-righteous path. I would wander away from where God wants me to be, which would not restore my soul. If I'm allowing God to lead, God is restoring my soul. That is the beauty of this verse. It's actually something I needed to hear today. Stop getting ahead of me! Thank you. After I had my crisis of conscience, my existential... Oh! What? My existential crisis. I don't know what they're called. Now I'm bumping into people again. No, I can't really scream like that. I can do that. It's alright, we still got 2 laps to go at this point. If I'm allowing God to lead, and I'm not wandering off like a sheep, then I will be on righteous paths that will restore my soul. And if I am not allowing God to lead, if I'm wandering off on my own, then I'm headed to paths of destruction. Because the only true path are the ones that God's on. So if I were to relate this psalm right now to race car driving, like we're doing right now, he leads me into first place. If I'm following God, God leads me into first place. Now, look, I know that sounds strange because I am in control of the vehicle. I take full responsibility of being in control of the vehicle. And as long as I stay on the path that is designed for me to be on, then I'm on the right path. But if I get off like that vehicle just did, I think that was also a Viper, then I'm headed for destruction because I won't be able to win first place. I have to stay on the righteous path, the right path. And that's how God leads me. God leads my hands and my eyes to keep me on the righteous path. No, it's not a Corvette. What are you? Well, it's not a Corvette either. It's not a Viper, it's not a Corvette. I'm not sure what that car is. We're on that last lap and, oh, I got too distracted. That's bad. Oof, I'm in 3rd now? Okay. No, 4th now. And that is the green flag for me. It was a yellow flag because I'd gotten so off track, and of course, well, there's the 1st and 2nd cars. They're not too far ahead of me, but they are far ahead of me. This could be a problem. Also, I like on this Viper that I'm using right now how when I tap the brake, that light and all the lights, for the Viper lights up. So I like that. That's cool. Paths of righteousness, though, it has to be God-led. So I was having this existential crisis, I guess you could say, about, am I wasting time? Is this channel worth it? Should I keep doing this? And I had a thought to look at Psalm 23. Now, I should know Psalm 23, but I didn't remember it. So I said, okay, I'll look at Psalm 23. And when I had some free time, I read Psalm 23, and verse 3 of Psalm 23 really stuck out at me. It said, He restores my soul. He leads me on paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Now look, if I were to go back to comparing this to, or do another comparison for video games, for me, yes, video games have a soul-restoring aspect for me. Should have tried to stay on track. I got 3rd again. It's alright. It's okay. It's okay. I'll take the money. I'll take my distance, and I'll run. Alright. They are... I don't want to say my cup of tea, because that's funky. But they help to center me, to, I don't want to say control me, but they help to make my ride a little more gentle. They help to calm me down. They do work as a stress release for me. Everybody finds their own stress release. Some people it's in reading books, some people it's in watching TV, some people it's in watching movies, some people it's in discussing politics, some people it's in working on cars, some people it's playing board games, which I enjoy also. But one of the best ways for me to de-stress is to grab a remote and see what happens in the game. That is a way that I restore my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness. You know, I was gonna say I don't know how that applies, but I was questioning whether or not I was being led, and restores my soul stuck out to me, struck me, and was like, yeah, okay. But he doesn't do it for me. For his name's sake. For the name of Yahweh, God, the Lord's name. It's not about me. It's never been about me. And that's part of what I struggle with, because I'm playing the game, I'm on camera, I'm uploading everything, I'm trying to figure out what I want to put in the description box, I'm trying to have fun, and I don't think trying is accurate. I'm having fun. Like I said, this is a stress release for me. I can't let it consume me. I can't let the game become an idol. But I should be allowed to find a way to use it to release my stress. Everybody deserves a way to release stress. And there is a flight or fight response in all of us, and most of the time I'm fairly laid back and chilled, but when it comes to racing and Madden, I want to win. I want to be successful. I've got a competitive edge to me, a very competitive edge to me, and so part of the competitive edge is also part of that stress release that I'm looking for, that I want to have, that I want to be able to be successful. And in the video games mostly, I did that again. I don't care. In the video games, you call it a quirk of mine. I think it's fun. I am enjoying what I'm playing. In fact, I've never, up until playing Gran Turismo, never driven a Porsche. Which is just not, it's not on my top list of cars. I've got a family member who it's on the top list of cars for, but it never was for me. And now I'm like, yeah, okay, I can enjoy this car. Look at the success I feel like I'm having. I'm not even done with the second lap and already got to first place. Started off in 8th, which wasn't too bad. Making my way around this course and separating myself from everybody else. But my identity should not be wrapped up in video games. like I said, just because it releases some stress, it shouldn't be my sole focus. My focus should be on His name, because it's in His name's sake that I'm being led on the paths of righteousness. If I'm not allowing God to lead me, which I guess I proved that I did by choosing the verse that I chose today, I am not going to get any more stress. The stress is not going to be released. I am going to be even more frustrated, even more upset. If I'm not allowing God to lead me, I'm going to feel pressured by the world about this channel. And I already have. That was my existential crisis earlier today, I was relying too much on what the world thinks about this channel and not doing what I say in the description. When I say like, share, subscribe, I don't care, do whatever you want. I mean, sure, if you want to, if you like what you see, do it. But if you don't, or even if you like what you see but you're still not sure about it, then don't do it. It doesn't matter to me. I rely on God to make this channel great, and if God wants to make this channel great, this channel will become great, as long as I allow God to lead this channel. Now, there's a duality to everything that I'm saying, because I'm actually very self-focused right now, focused on myself and how I'm doing, and it's not about that. Am I allowing God to lead me? That's the question that should be asked. I can't say for sure. I think the answer is yes, in so much as I wasn't sure what verse I wanted to use. So I read a chapter that I had in my mind that nobody told me. Nobody said, hey, read this chapter today. It was, something in my head said Psalm 23. So I reread Psalm 23. And then I got to verse 3, which is fairly quickly in. He restores my soul. Oh, yeah. I kind of need that right now, because I was dealing with, am I on the right path or not? Is this the right track? Pun intended, or not? He leads me on paths of righteousness. Now, I knew last night before I started filming for tonight that I was going to be filming Gran Turismo, the real driving simulator, Gran Turismo racing. I knew. And so when it got to the paths of righteousness, again, there's a bit of tongue-in-cheek there, because these race cars are on a track, the right track. If I go off track, I will not drive as well. We all know this. We saw that in the very last race that I did tonight. If I go off track a little bit and end up in the pit, that will definitely mess me up. But there's a time where I will need to use the pit and get new tires and gas and all that stuff. Right now, too early for that. Way too early. Still working on just making sure that I know how to drive around the course, that I can learn how to race safely, that I can learn how to race smoothly. Am I going to make mistakes sometimes while I'm racing? Sure. Everybody makes mistakes. Does that mean that I'm going to fail because I make mistakes? No. I might not win a race, but that doesn't mean I failed. But if I am going through my existential crisis, like I feel like I did today, and I want to be honest about that, and then God says, read this verse, and this verse says, I will lead you for my name's sake. This has nothing to do with J-Man, everything to do with God. Let God rule. That's what God was trying to teach me today. And I had trouble learning that. I had trouble learning it because I'm stubborn. If you've been watching any of my videos, if I fail something, I will go back and try it again until I win it. In fact, the very first race that I did tonight, or this playthrough, is a race that I continue to lose, but I don't want to play it over and over and over again in the same playthrough, because I want to do other things. I want to do different things. I want to find other ways to be successful. Maybe learn how to drive a different car will teach me how to better drive the other cars that I want to win on. So I have to keep trying, keep practicing, keep playing, and that means, yeah, keep repeating a race that I've already beaten, just so that I can continue to, or I've already finished, just so that I can get the completion and the win on that. Because that is my, 50,000 credits for this one for winning. Yeah, that sounds great. I like that. Alright, so we didn't get all of the mileage that we wanted to get. I'm going to leave the Boxer series right here, though, the Boxer Spirit races. We'll come back to these the next time we race, because we've only got 1.1 mile to go, 1.2 miles to go. Yeah, before we can get our free car, and I gotta say, I enjoy trying to get that free car, so let's get back on the track I think we were just on. But that's okay, because this is a little shorter of a turn. Nürburgring. Nürburgring? I don't know. Obviously, I don't know German. I don't know anything about it. I'm trying to have fun with it, but at the same time, I don't know. I just wind up sounding stupid. I am very grateful today that I took the chance to read a verse that I wasn't sure about, that I felt like I was called to read the verse out of Psalm, and I don't think I understood what exactly was being asked of me. Hey, go and try. I don't know, maybe we tried it before. Yeah, sure, we got bronze. I don't care. In these, I don't care if I get bronze, get some credits, some mileage points. Not quite where we want with the other. We still need 0.6 miles, so we still need to do something else. But we got another victory, so take the win there. It became a matter of learning to listen better than I had before. This is the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit in the UK, and this is learning cornering with a focus on acceleration. 19.306 for gold, 19.930 for silver, and 20.7 for bronze. Sounds doable. What I learned today, and I didn't learn it on my own. I will not take any credit for what I learned today. But I will say that what I learned today is that sometimes life is hard. Sometimes life is challenging. But no matter what, ooh, we got silver that time. When I learned to trust in God, God will fulfill His promise. We didn't get there. We still need one more thing to get there. And I feel like, for me, God fulfilled His promise today, and I didn't realize He was offering me a promise. Learn cornering with a focus on acceleration 2. 18 seconds for gold, 18.55 for silver, 19.205 for bronze. This one is in a Ferrari 458 Italia GR4 Sounds like fun. I think it's funny, like, in my own mind, I find it odd, and that's why I say funny, that I would feel so led and so inclined to read a verse, and I definitely see the blessing. We didn't get it that time, but we got what we were looking for, the mileage. Not gonna worry about anything else. I learned to trust God better. Will I act on that? It'll probably take some time, because I'm stubborn. But I hope that you learned to trust God better. That you learned through my experience of having trouble trusting God. Now you know that you can trust God. This is a Lancia Delta HF Integral Evolucion 1991. I don't know much about the car. But what I do know is that I've got some things to tell you. First off, thank you so much for watching. May God bless you. Especially, He will, if you follow God. He will lead you to paths of righteousness for His name's sake, because God loves